Welcome back, Five Aces.
Battle control initialized.
Hey people, Five Aces here. This is your embedded frontline reporter speaking. We're once again embedded in trench warfare. That's right, it's RAGL Season 15. This is crazy that just about Season 14 came and passed in a blink. And lots of things have happened since. There's an all-new map pool, there's an all-new players pool as well, because wouldn't you know it, as is customary and tradition for RAGL, the victor of the prior season, after 2 victories or 1 victory respectively, has just disappeared off the face of the earth. Which just goes to prove that the earth is flat, but that's more of an aside, Kappa Pride. Alright, now we are tackling some games by some lesser known players. This is not Masters League, this is Minions League. The reason why I chose this particular matchup is because A, they had the perfect length to cast, and B, they are from some players who have been around for quite a while, but who have not been featured prominently yet, and I want to just give those games a shot. Sometimes those mid to high tier games can be just as much of a blast to cast because they're not as formulaic, and there's just a lot more strategic variety because people try taking risks, generally speaking. Alright, speaking of the risk takers, those in question would be Milkman, spawning in the top left as France and going for purple. And sporting the green trunks is his opponent for the day, Rusty Tux, aka Tux. I think I've casted like maybe 1 match of each of those players, respectively. Both going for a safe NG Derek cap. We're going to take a look at the map. It is called 3.5 Woods. Alright, what about the briefing? Oh yeah, there's some... Ooh, Tanya has an added skull icon, that's pretty nice. So those are just some of the regular changes that have gone up into this. MIG health has gone down. That is an interesting choice. Let me tell you, MIGs die really fast. They used to die really fast, and now they die even fasterest. Okay, double ref build here for Tux. And there is going to be double ref build here for Milkman as well, who has opted for his for taking the double refiner on the back lines. That's something that's not strictly necessary because it frees you up to skip the 3rd refinery, which is sometimes a good call. Oh, the entire team going around for a wild goose chase. They have sniffed out the rifle. Scouting is banned, yeah. That's in the new rules for RAGL Season 15. No scouting, good sir. Oh, the intercept. There is the rifle going prone, and that's it for the scouting run. I think he's seen everything he wanted though. Let's check. No, he's only seen the refinery, so for all he knows, this could still be an all-in. Flag track opener, haven't seen that one in a while. Oh yeah, Ukraine for Tux as well. I like that a lot. Flag track, honestly, you want to poke out the enemy. Go out into the open. Ooh, is the medic going to be zacked? Looks like it. Boom! That was a kind of an unnecessary sacrifice, and losing a rifle to boot. Plus now running into the welcoming arms of a firing squad. Oh, that is looking terrible for Milkman in game number 1. He has lost a lot of assets for that. He has killed a Walderic, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, 3k. He has tanked his entire army. Not the general you'd want. I would not like to be assigned under the command of Milkman at this day and age. Yeah, so his army is dwindling. So, Ranger is out now. Oh, he needs to play so defensively. And that's going to be an easy counter snipe from Tux because he knows that he's going to have army advantage now. So an easy freebie. Plus he doesn't have to sack a medic to get there. Maybe can even take the 2nd Derek. That will be a nice small victory. I like what Tux is doing here. This not only opens up construction options for flamethrowers for a flamethrower drop, but it also allows you to just play a little more aggressive because your service depot can't be capped without you noticing. So just having 1 field defense up is not the worst thing in the world. Spamming in your original base is not the best idea because that's a resource drain, but yeah, just 1 in a key strategic location is good. Because this also covers the Conyard. Would have been even better here, because then it would have covered all angles for the Conyard. And would have freed him up to just, you know, move about the map with a bit less caution. MCV is plowing its way through the grasslands here. He's gonna establish a forward command post and picture mirror image timings here. Alright. That's solid. A double light vehicle built from Milkman, but he didn't do anything off it just yet. Scouting run has been successful so far. And he jukes out the light tank. The turret gets stuck on the terrain, and as such, Flak Truck survives, lives another day. So far, good show for Tux. Basically hasn't made any major mistakes, and is as a result comfortably sitting in the driver's seat. He's also positioned some scouts in some key locations. It's pretty good. And Milkman is trying to take his third base first, basically. Moving forward before you expand backwards. Eco transfer has been really good in terms of the timings, both players actually. And Tux is positioning flame towers pretty much on every single key location. That's something I like. I also really like his position of the Cognac because it still barely covers the ore refinery. Very smart unit placement. He does see the base push coming. The barracks have been revealed. Thank you, good sir. And Tux has now two options. He still has army superiority, but he's fighting into an enemy base. So basically, either you commit, go all the way, go all in, and try and bunker bust him, or circumnavigate the army. And he is picking option B. Most certainly starting to look like it. There's a little detachment. Or option C, try and win by 1,000 cuts. Ooh, this army is unscouted. Doesn't have much meat to it, but there is a lot of bones. Bones in the forms of rocket launchers, and those are aimed at your base, my friend. Okay, all the army movements have been screened except for the one in the southern perimeter. So this could be a good timing window. Ooh. This pillbox has paid for itself twice over. Basically killed the entire platoon by itself. And the tank is left stranded. So speaking of mistakes, that's kind of the first big mistake here for Tux. Takes a lot of damage on the tank, but survives. And he's trying to breach on the southern perimeter. And it is absolutely working. Oh, Milkman doesn't have this on the radar. So far, there has been a trade. There has been a trade refinery for refinery. The tech structure here is in peril though. Yep, that is going to be a dead service depot. Yikes, no more tank production. Back to tier 0 it is for Tux. He hasn't made any successful inroads into cutting up the enemy base yet. So, nice little attack from Milkman. Has definitely had some impact. Has found some good value for himself. Probably not even cost efficient if you're being honest, but it still delays the enemy army scaling. So right now they are... right now, what is he producing? Yeah, flak trucks. That's right. And as long as the opponent has no tier 2 and only has flak trucks and only has tanks out on the field, there is really no good reason for purchasing flak trucks as Soviets. Let's just kind of flak trucks unfold their potential on tier 2. They counter literally every tier 2 unit that the allies can field. But against tier 0, tier 1, they're actually pretty mediocre to terrible in the case of tanks. So army superiority, a massive army superiority for Rusty Tux, but he doesn't know about it. Radar Dome is now being built by Milkman. That would be a road back into the game if he manages to get the tech advantage, but yeah, look at this. 10k difference in the army value. And if Tux realizes this, he should go on the aggressive. The single file formation, goose stepping the way into the pillbox line. I don't know. But he's realigning the tanks and the breach is about to happen. Yeah. Milkman, my friend, you're gonna get milked yourself. Oh, the radar dome. That is... he's gonna get milked dry here. Oh, the radar dome. Highly unfortunate timing on this one. Yeah, there is no way in hell it's gonna stop his avalanche of units coming into his base. Swooping in. Clean sweeping his base and taking Milkman to the dry cleaners. Yeah, that's an assault move if I've ever seen one. You save some units by going attack move first, but that's okay. He's still got some crazy value from his army. Yep, there is very little left in the way of defense or offense for Milkman. defensive potential basically tapped out. And a very, very well positioned army. I mean, the tanks are behind, but hey, you can't always get what you want, right? The stones knew it. The pillboxes are melting. Yeah, no more refineries here. I think Milkman is pretty tapped out in terms of his earning potential. He's the harvester driver is pondering his career choices. Definitely not happy that he's forced into staying here. And Tux can just happily re-expand. He is in a great spot. This should honestly be the 1-0 for Tux. There's also a couple newcomers to RAGL that I wanted to highlight. We're going to do so in the upcoming weeks, and I'm really excited because some of them have taken names. As is customary, the newcomers coming in and smashing the competitive scene, turning it upside down. I don't know what it is. Don't say low skill gap, because that's certainly not true. It's just that every now and so often there is someone who shakes up the meta. Or just, you know, maybe it is the old guard becoming too safe in their playstyles, too predictable. Ooh, triple refinery. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one, Chief. Lots of tanks from Milkman, but barely any infantry to support it. And the infantry are getting picked off anyway. Yeah, as long as you have this many tanks, it's not actually a scary army. Tanks by themselves don't have the DPS necessary to really crush structures. They get countered really hard by just spamming rocket soldiers because they're so cost efficient. Okay, they've pushed their way forward a little bit. But what about the northern perimeter? There is a push onto the base. Milkman has nothing left on defense. The harvesters are just being cut down, are being culled. And the cell order is coming out. Gory death animations abound, inbound here. Ooh, there's the rockets, I found them. So yeah, lots of things have been happening IRL as well. Our baby is now 1.5 months old, that's why my casting schedule has once again become a bit more erratic than it was before. It's just the nature of how babies work. Or refuse to work, because babies are just awake whenever the hell they want and they sleep whenever the hell they want, so we've had a difficult time getting a little one to adjust to a proper sleep schedule. That is to say, there is no sleep schedule at all, so I always have to be on guard. Always have to be on duty, standby. Nice move here. Rusty Tux is sending his tanks into the back lines and he's splitting them up. That is really, there is not going to be any response from Milkman because he doesn't have the army. He simply doesn't have the army to defend. Great positioning. Also, blocking the one and only large ore spot. That's nasty. Man, that's so beautiful. Well played. Well played, Tux, and that looks like a well-deserved 1-0. He should commit for the Harvester. Would be an easy wipe on the Harvester, but fine. Man, this tank is getting value. Going to Value Town. Splitting up the Harvesters is definitely a good call here. Second Harvester probably also intercepted. No? No? Okay. Almost. Sniffs out another ore truck. And parks next to it with the tank barrels primed at the tank. Oh, that was a little attempt at a push. But that came in an unfortunate timing because once again, income is completely in the gutter for Milkman. His Conyard is going down now because he's refused to move it out. Probably not the wisest choice, but hey. He's down a Conyard. Ooh, and this tank is still going strong. Will he manage to find the crush? Not yet, not yet. He was trying to align his units for the crush. Okay, now there's a dead army. Whoa! There's the counter push, okay. Okay, there's the armor for Tux. I was about to say. If we were to lose on that rebound, that would be hilarious, but it certainly doesn't look like it. There's such a large army. Yeah, so lots of things again have happened. We're having the equivalents of the SATs yet again. So, and that's my first year doing them in this part of the country. So there is a lot of organizational stuff as well. in addition to the baby. Plus we've had an infirmary for the past couple of weeks rather than a family home, because everybody's been sick at once. At some point in the kindergarten there was actually a scarlet fever alert. Some kid had brought freaking scarlet fever into the group, and I thought that had basically stopped existing around the 19th century, but nope. Scarlet fever is still a thing, and it has ravaged the kindergarten group. Fortunately, nothing serious, but you know, just sick kids all around. Alright, that should wrap up game number 1. So we've had everybody sick at once, except myself. So I was the only one left standing and had to basically pull double duties, going to work and taking care of the kids as well. It was a bit stressful, so hence why the sleep schedule or the casting schedule has become a bit more erratic. Man, yet another push. Milkman certainly doesn't quit. He has an impressive amount of staying power here. Just that he's gonna get outmatched eventually. But I really gotta commend his staying power. Yep, army is getting blasted. Thank you, good sir. And there is now the first yaks almost ready to go. Artilleries are out from Milkman, but that really won't help him. That won't save the day against an army triple that of his. So many husks. There were once talks about giving the hijacker the ability to hijack husks as well, but they got discarded. Would have been an interesting choice. It would be worth it to sacrifice a yak, kill the artilleries, shift queue both of them. He's got such insane line of sight. He can come from the south, can come in from the south, and shift queue goes like, oh, triple, 3 at once. Yes, please. Oh, and one more. Beautiful. What a nice strafe. This is how you use yaks. That was absolutely brilliant, and now he's fighting with his back against the woods, but that is actually an advantage here, because there is no way that the enemy army can surround him. Yeah, that must be the GG. There is nothing left here. Yep. Calling it as I sees it. Awesome match number 1. Mr. Colorblind, who's that? Fazer. Yeah, I've casted him before. Alright, that is game number 1, but as is customary in RAGL, there is always a game number 2. See you in just a sec.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Alright, staring deep into the depths of your soul. Coming at you live with game number 2. This is played on Tarback, another map that I haven't seen before. And I can see where the name's coming from. This is a very road-centric open map. Interesting, you've got this looks like a StarCraft 2 map in that you've got basically high ground, defender's advantage. But it is unlike in StarCraft, where you have to always protect your mineral lines. These mineral lines are extremely exposed. There is a rare map, Pink Thought map, that is amazing. Yeah, this is by Pink Thought. It also features comp centers, so nice little scouting vision, scouting outpost. Little scout post here. Derricks in the corners. And yeah, this is a jokey map, certainly. I can foresee matches taking quite a while on this map, because you don't have that many resources, and even if an opposing player is losing, you're gonna still struggle to finish it out, because you really have to cover so much space and so much base if you wanna finish it and like crack the last bit of the base. This is basically a little bit of a turtle map. Even if you're losing the economy game, you can turtle up for quite a while and survive on artillery fire and indirect. So let's see how it plays out though. Rusty Tux again going for his trusty Soviets, and Milkman going for allies again, but this time it's the Brits. Let's see if this goes into the late game. Wouldn't be too surprised, because it is a Minions League match. And those tend to go a bit hard. Speaking of which, one recurring player for Minions League is Oops, and I've got some of his games downloaded already. Locked and loaded. Those are some of the next ones that we're gonna tackle. Also, if you're wondering what happened to the best of X+1 series between Kato and Noodles, there is one last concluding match there as well, but I just wanted to intersperse with some RAGL. just to mix it up a little. And also, I just wanted to ride the high of the remastered graphics, but interestingly enough, I looked at the metrics and it is the same holds true every single time. Everything that's not red alert is not being watched by people as much. And by not as much, I mean by half as many people. So I'm just curious. Leave something in the comments. Is Tiberian Dawn just not that exciting? Because I really like the matches, plus I also like the graphics being incorporated now. So remastered graphics definitely a plus for me. Granted, you've got red alert with some more intricate unit design, with some more utility units, just more options overall. But I still enjoy the raw brutality of a TD match every now and then. And yeah, it's starting to look like, to me, like the people don't agree and the metrics don't lie. Okay, barracks build with the war factory after 2 refineries, nothing too special here. Same here. Milkman again going for his double refinery on the back lines. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because it forces you into building a 3rd refinery. You basically can't move out. It delays your move out with the expansion MCV or deploying a base by 36 seconds. I'm not sure if that's the right call. Not a big fan of that build. But then again, Rusty Tux is doing the same, so maybe I'm just talking out my ass. 5 harvesters already here, 4 harvesters only for Milkman. Lagging a little bit behind the econ game. It's going for a light tank. And there is the MCV already. This was a vehicle skip, huh? Okay. Tux with the vehicle skip, a bit risky, but on a map this large. Rush distance isn't too close either. He's got a good read on the map for the most part. This comm center certainly helps because it deters flanks on the southern perimeter. Out goes the MCV. Shift Q, and we're gonna zoom out. This map is actually large. It doesn't even fit on the screen on max zoom level, and my screen is this new screen is absolutely huge, humongous. To the point where it's actually too big to keep track of everything. That's why I had to like move back a little. Milkman is never making use of his light vehicles, so I don't know if that's a good investment. I would maybe then just go for a ranger and go for a little bit of scouting if you're not using your light tank aggressively. The ranger is the objectively better choice because it's also cheaper. It provides more scouting information, more utility, can transport engineers around. Whereas the light tank is really just there for aggression. It's already matched by a heavy, but the army is actually sort of scary from Milkman. Just think the reinforcement routes are too close. Okay, double tank into flak truck. Curious build from Tux. Maybe he fears that there is some shenanigans inbound with a radar dome build from allies. No mind reader, but that would be the first thing that would come to my mind. Oh, army has been found out. Oh, and it's gonna be cut in half. That is not a good start. Not a good start to the engagement at all. Tank hasn't found an angle in. And there's a lot of green popping up already. Eat your greens, eat healthy. By greens, I mean those little green pips that are feeding the war economy of Tux. He's been eaten really well. Tanks rolling in now, and there is medics. I don't know, my friend. He's curbing the base sprawl just a little bit. On the northern end, the tanks have now united with the army. Light tank gets some decent crushes, not too bad. As a result, the army lives and gets a complete wipe on the army of Tux, pushes him back. Not too bad. Infantry corps should now be stronger, at least for a little bit, from Milkman. Oops. What's been happening in Tux land over there? What did he forget? Or did something get capped? No, didn't. One thing I would like to incorporate, something a little bit of a semi-pro tip, if you're new to the game or if you haven't played in a while. You can also give the service depot a rally point now, and what I do is I put the service depot and the war factory into the same control group, so whenever something is finished repairing, it automatically drives to the same spot as as a War Factory rally point. Super useful for bringing your repaired units back to the front lines. Man, this Armored Corps is still standing strong. And as a result, with only losing one tank, Tux has completely obliterated the army. The Tux Law. What's the Tux Law? Eat your greens, win your game? I don't know. It ain't looking good for Milkman anymore. Yeah, he's lost a lot of units in the past minute. Now his base sprawl is being curbed yet again. Combat curtailed. Backstab is coming. Backstab is coming, but he's moving the tanks back together. Clumping his units, and I think he's got enough. With the position, he's got a great surround on the army, and Milkman only has one tank left. Man, Milkman is feeding more and more units into the meat grinder. It just ain't working. He still hasn't disposed of the first army. Yikes. What a devastating trade. We're now up to 12k. Ouch. Milkman's face has been thoroughly rinsed here. One tank yet again being split off. The low health tank is trying to exfiltrate, or is it trying to go in? Oh! He's going for aggression. He's hunting. He's stalking. And all the harvesters must be pulled off the lines already. Super annoying. That is so much income lost, so much mining time lost. Both players have a good read on the south, but neither player has tried expanding yet. Yeah, they're speaking a very clear language. That was when the engagement into the base began. The assault, and that was very one-sided. No defender's advantage this time around, huh? Alright. Get them flushed out. And he isn't done just yet. Tux is going for the killing blow. Is he gonna be able to finalize this? He's certainly gonna dislocate this base. There is no way in hell that that Milkman holds this. Tux is gonna roll over him in just a couple of seconds. Good focus fire from the pillbox. That was a valiant attempt. Ultimately not fruitful. This is one of those instances where the enemy units are trickling in, so it's so good to have your units on assault move, such as that they don't. Oh, good crushes. Such as that they don't waste shots on like enemy buildings, and all the DPS goes into the enemy army. Man, you should definitely patch up those tanks. Look at that. So much value. An insane amount of value would be gained here. MCV is down. The entire base is flushed out. I think that is about to spell doom. Still though, on this map it's hard to choke somebody out. Man, armies everywhere. Armies and armies and armies. The economy. Man. Have you noticed, ever since I started teaching in a business school rather than a general one, yeah, I've put more of an emphasis on economics, most certainly. No, I haven't. Trying to work subversively. Subverting the capitalist expectations. It's actually crazy. In this school type, the business owners have a stake, but they're basically considered stakeholders for the curriculum of these school types. And they have a stake in saying what the curriculum contains. So there is meetings with the business owners to decide on the curriculums of this school type. It's something that I haven't encountered in my other school before. I was like, wow, that's capitalism at work. All right, single file formation yet again. Armies are trying to close in. Okay, this time around there's enough of an infantry corps from Milkman to prevail. Nice little victory. A Pyrrhic victory, but a victory regardless. No support powers just yet. No tier 3, what a shame. Tux, you're better than this. Give this man a tier 3. Give him a tech center. Give him a demo truck. I want to see something. It is yet again Milkman with the artilleries, with the early attack lead, despite him being so far behind in the actual game. Man. Helicopter, is he going to get it out in time even? He's so broke. I'm not seeing it. Tux is doing a really good job splitting up his army. Never giving the enemy too much surface area to defend. Always has to cover a lot of ground. And that is the breach into the main base. So this gap is the reason why reaching the main base would in theory be difficult, but not with a 2-to-1 army lead. Like, that's a foregone conclusion. But in general, it's really hard to squeeze an army through here because you need to basically do single file formation and your efficiency is gonna go way down. GG is called. Yeah, there was no way in hell that Milkman would have turned this one around. Because really he was on one base. That one base was being cleaned out. Alright, that is the 2-0. Solid game, solid opener. It is very absurd with your army size. Yeah, Milkman just lost too much. We take a look at the combat tab yet again. Just in case you're wondering what's happening. Yeah, there is your 30k. That is your 30k difference. What about the economy? I think they earned relatively comparatively, yeah. Until the last minutes where Milkman lost his expansions, the earnings were about even. The problem was that Milkman kept losing every single engagement. Overcommitment. Alright, that was a good showcase, a good opener, good appetizer for RAGL Season 15. We're hyped for more. I'm hyped for more, and also for casting Masters with all new faces, some of whom have already been taken names. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. 5 Aces, out.
Battle control terminated.